Hi, I'm Rich with Inside HPC. We're here at ISC 2017 in Frankfurt, and we're here at the CoolIT Systems booth with the CEO, Jeff Lyon. Jeff, welcome to Germany.
Thank you very much. Great to be here.
Well, thanks for having us again, but we should probably start at the beginning, Jeff. Who is CoolIT Systems and who do you help?
CoolIT Systems creates liquid cooling systems for the data center industry and PC as well, but most of our company's focus is now on data center solutions.
Okay, so I remember last year when we were talking, you had a good relationship set up with HPE for data center stuff. What's new this year?
Well, we're still showcasing the HPE liquid-cooled solution that's showcased over here for the Apollo 2000. But what's new at this show is we've just announced our partnership with Dell. Dell EMC has a new server that is a highly dense application. The exciting part about it is that the liquid cooling is factory integrated. So if you order this version of the server, it comes with the liquid already mounted to it, so that when you get it, you just take it out of the box, install it in the rack, plug it in the manifold, and turn it on.
Wow, that's a terrific deal for distribution with the power of Dell worldwide. Wow.
Yeah, it's exciting. I mean, and it's kind of made possible not just with great engineering partnership, but at the same time we had to think a lot about the support in the field as well. And our relationship with STULZ has really helped us to do that, so that there's local support for installation, service, and sustaining.
Okay. So you got the compute node here and the heat sinks, right? That take away the heat? Is that what this is?
That's right. So this is actually a cold plate that's specifically designed for Intel Socket P, and this is supporting Skylake, which will be coming up soon.
Yes.
I think the official release is just around the corner.
Yes.
So the a rather simple setup. It gathers the heat off the processors, processor 1, then processor 2, and returns the warm water with the quick disconnect into the manifold. Now the program for Dell is actually set up for this is the module that goes in the server, but we have standard manifolds that are now an orderable item through the Ingram Micro Dell S&P. So that's software and peripherals, so that you buy the servers from Dell, you buy the manifolds and the CHX80.
Oh, okay. So this is at the node level. That's the heat exchanger over there?
That's right. Let's have a look.
All right, Jeff, what are we looking at here?
So this is our CHX80. It's capable of handling a very large heat load, 80 kilowatts. The design was actually purpose-built so that it could handle a high node count. And that high-density node count is why this was selected for the Dell system. You have a 2U 4-node setup. So that means in a fully populated rack, you could have quite a high number of nodes, right? So you would potentially have as many as 38 nodes times 2. Right?
So you could do 80 kilowatts in a single rack with this?
80 kilowatts and 80 nodes.
And 80.
This is actually, this could support up to 120 nodes. So it's got a large heat exchanger in here. It has a liquid-to-liquid heat exchange profile, so that you need a facility water feed, so that either warm water or chilled water can be supported, and it will transfer all of the heat that's been gathered from the servers into the facility water flow, so that it can potentially be reused in some cases. We have sites that are doing energy reuse for heating buildings or melting snow on the sidewalk, or even some of them are trying to do energy generation, which is pretty cool.
Terrific. Okay. Well, this is great for people that have facility water, but what do you have for folks that are still pushing air around with hot aisle, cold aisle?
Actually, it's a great question and lead into something over here that we call the Panorama Project. So let's have a look.
Okay. Well, great, Jeff. What are we looking at here now?
As I mentioned, this is the Panorama project. We name our projects after local ski hills. The CHX-80 used to be the Revelstoke. I'm not sure if you remember that.
Okay.
So Panorama was based on the demand that we had from customers to have an ability to not have facility water, right? They wanted to use that high density technology with a liquid cooled server, but they don't have facility water in the room yet, or they've got just one rack or a small number of nodes. So this is the product for that. It has its air intake in the front and an exhaust out the back, but it can dissipate quite a lot of heat because it's actually just one big heat exchanger from air to liquid. We'll have a look under the hood.
Okay. Well, that's different.
Yeah, so you've got an array of 15 high-powered fans that are fully controllable, and you can use a PWM signal inside the controller to keep the fan and the noise down as low as possible. But when you're in the data center and your heat load goes up, then these have the capacity to move upwards of 6, 7, even 8 kilowatts.
And I don't know if we can see, there's like radiators under there. They're going to be radiating heat, and this fans are helping that air come up and then go out the plenum?
That's right.
Okay.
So the intake goes from underneath here. It goes up through the heat exchanger. It's one great big radiator. It's about that big.
Okay.
And then all that heat is extracted off the radiator and then exhausted out the back. The liquid connections are quick disconnects on the back, which are compatible with all of our systems here. And it has actually a substantial amount of flow and would be in a position to support, like I say, about 7 kilowatts or maybe 14, 15 high-density servers.
Terrific. Well, Jeff, I can't let you go without asking about something we looked at last year, the Micro Data Center. I wanted to ask, how's that relationship going with STULZ and CoolIT Systems?
I have to say it's been a joy to be in a position to work with such a great company. They have a global footprint, and we're actually pretty happy about being in a position to be taking orders for the micro data center.
Okay.
So I'll let Jorg give the 1-2 introduction over here.
All right, we're here by the Micro Data Center in the CoolIT Systems booth, and I'm here with Jorg from STULZ. I think we should start at the beginning. Jorg, who is STULZ and who do you help out there in the data center space?
STULZ is a global provider for cooling systems and services. We are a company with a global footprint. We are focusing on the mission-critical industry. We are actually a group headquartered in Hamburg, Germany. We have subsidiaries around the world, 17 direct subsidiaries, of which we have 7 manufacturing facilities around the world. So we cover every major market. We have common engineering. We are in the position to say that engineering can be done in the US, it can be done in Europe, and the products can be manufactured worldwide, so we can actually serve customers that have a worldwide footprint.
So Jorg, we first introduced the Micro Data Center last year, but I'm curious about customers. What type of customer needs this type of deployment?
We could say maybe customer like us. We are a company that do design work, so we need to have some higher performance compute directly on premise. But right now we have a little data room with a couple of racks and a number of servers in there, and of course cooling solutions. But do we really need a room? We could put the entire capacity, compute power we have there in this little rack. So we become room neutral. So I would say this rack is also a wonderful solution for companies like design firm, law offices that sometimes move their location. So they lease a office space, and instead of building out a server room, they could buy a rack. And if they want to relocate, they could take the rack with them.
Because this is totally self-contained, right? It doesn't need all kinds of air conditioning brought to it and all this other stuff. Right?
No, the air conditioning is actually built in. If you look at this solution here,
yeah.
This is actually the high performance version of what we are offering. It has the CoolIT technology built in. So with CoolIT, we actually, as a standard rule, remove 70% of the heat load directly into liquid, and the remaining 30% we require some air cooling. So this rack now combines these two solutions. It integrates it totally, and the only thing we need to add is some sort of heat rejection to the outside.
So as you go to market now, how did CoolIT Systems contribute to this engineering?
CoolIT provides the liquid part of this.
Okay.
So what we did is we were taking a look at what can we do very well, that's air cooling or conditioning.
Yes.
CoolIT has the technology to go directly to the chip level. Our thought was to bring these two technologies together, and by doing so, we are gaining not only efficiency, we can save some space. So this box also has the advantage to say we have a better operating cost, but we also can say that our CapEx can be improved. I don't need a specific room to be laid out, to design, to equip with air conditioning equipment. I have it all pre-engineered and coming from the factory. So if we take a look at that, we definitely improve the total cost of ownership.
Well, we introduced it last year with our video, and we were happy to do that, but where's it at today? Is this shipping?
Yes, it is actually available.
Excellent.
And if you look at this version here right now, that was our first go-around. We still show it because it has all the active components, all the interests that we need to talk about. But we learned already. We learned that customers came to us and said, it is the perfect solution, but it is too big. I can't bring it into my existing office space. So what we did, we made it even more modular. We actually separated the cooling section from the IT section, and you can bring this in separate batches, install it back into your office, and then you have the complete solution with the same features as an all-in-one box. It gave us also the chance to make it even more modular, to let it grow. For a company that has a higher demand, wants to bring in more IT, or is asking for some redundancy, because if you look at this version, it only has one cooling device. Somebody says, if I put up to 60, 70 kW of IT, I would like to see redundancy. We can add this cooling device to the other side and provide that redundancy. And we can also let it grow in increments of rack space, cooling capacity, as the customer wishes. We learned that pre-configuration really doesn't exist. We need to make it to become like a puzzle. I want to have this piece, I want to have this piece. So a true modular structure that can be tailored to the customer need.